What's good with them, family, man? I hope y'all are doing well. You did what I'm saying. Y'all know the weather changing. We got a lot of hurricanes on the way. Rainy season and whatnot. But I just want to get on here to touch on a topic that, you know, a lot of people have been asking me my opinion on, and that's really, is the cargo van industry over? Is it falling apart? You know, is it worth even getting into? And the answer is, it depends. It depends on who's asking. You know, it depends on who's looking for an answer. You know what I'm saying? It just, overall, it depends. I would personally say that it's way more saturated than it's ever been before. I'm going on now my 4th year in the industry, and definitely a lot more people in cargo vans than, you know, there were 4 years ago. I was just having this conversation with my girlfriend last night, and she has a baking company, and I was explaining to her, I was like, you know what, babe? Because she was saying a lot of people that are going up in her industry right now, they're giving out free sauce, you know, and they're people who don't necessarily care about how their cookies or how their bakings and cakes and stuff like that come out. They just really care about having enough people see them that they can make their sales. It's a numbers game. And I've been in industries where it's a total numbers game. So I definitely understand that. And I understand where she's coming from as well. But I understand where they're coming from as well. All in all, I told her, you know, it doesn't matter how many recipes they sell. Even if they were to give out the recipes for free, everybody can have the same recipe and each cookie would be totally different. You know what I'm saying? Some people will have way more chocolate chips in theirs than the other person. Somebody gonna forget to add an ingredient. Some people are not gonna circle their cookies or their cakes out, you know, the way that they need to. It doesn't matter who you give the sauce to, it's still gonna come out different. You know, the product's gonna come out different, you know. It's gonna be altered. So the same with the cargo van industry. It doesn't matter who you give a van to, everybody's gonna get different results. I can give people the same amount of sauce that it took me to get to where I'm at. They're still not gonna be able to do exactly what I do, because what's for me is what's for me, family. Like, I don't understand how some people don't understand that. Like, unless you have a direct mentor, don't look to get the same results as of someone else. You know what I'm saying? Comparison is the thief of all joy. So really embrace different results. Embrace a path that's only for you. Embrace, you know, some days not getting any loads, or some days not getting enough loads, but then waking up the next day and then running it up for the whole week. You know what I'm saying? Like, this industry is not for the weak. It's really not. You have to have a strong mind. Your expenses can't be fucking crazy. And if they are fucking crazy, you're gonna break eventually, because there's gonna be dark days and not everybody's available, you know, mentally to be able to save financially like you need to in this industry. You gotta have a cushion at all times. You gotta have a savings. You gotta have something for, you know, your spare tire, your oil change, your windshield's always gonna be cracking. You never know what could go wrong in the industry. Hotels are gonna be needed, gas all the time, you know, so you gotta have a cushion. And it's people that don't have a cushion and haven't, you know, gotten to that point of being able to get a cushion that fail. But all in all, if you can get multiple contracts, 2 to 3 good contracts, you know, the certificates that you need, you'll survive the industry. Because I don't think a lot of people look at it as if we have levels, and there are levels to the industry. It's just like climbing up the corporate ladder. You know, you got, if you don't have your degree, you're going to be at the bottom. If you don't have all of the certifications that you need to have, you're going to be at the bottom compared to those who have everything that they need and then some. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, there's levels to this just as well. If you got more certifications, if you have, you know, more contacts on your list that you can contact to get work from, etc., you're going to be in a way better position than somebody who doesn't. So that's why I personally tell people all the time, get out there and start getting to work before you have your van. Getting your van and getting the insurance, believe it or not, though it's hard, it's the easy part. You know, it's different for everybody, but it's like the hard part is going out here and making real direct contacts, you know, so that you have direct shipper contracts and communicating with people, bringing them lunch, making them smile, calling them on the phone, you know, learning about their family. Like, you got to get personal out here a little bit to be able to make that money you really want to make. And if you're not going to get personal, you got to have the credentials to back up who you say you are with this van. You dig what I'm saying? And not a lot of people have the credentials. You know, you don't need a felony background check to really get started in this business. So there's a lot of people who couldn't or can't get a job anywhere else that is doing what this is right here. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing background checks for you to purchase a vehicle. You can always get you a cash van as well. Like, cash van means you just pay straight cash for the van, and people, you know, they will take it. Dealers, they just want to sell. I promise you. They're you know, not all dealers are the enemy, but they're not all our friends either. They just really want to sell. So it's like, yeah, when you come prepared with cash or enough down payment for you to be able to purchase the van, they're not running a background check on you. You don't really give too much about insurance, because in order to get started on some of these apps or with the contracts, you're using other people's information. You know, there's ways around it that people have gotten into the industry, you know, not in a good way, but they're still here. And that saturated the market as well. You dig what I'm saying? But is it worth it? It can be. The money can be great. You know, me personally, I've had days where I made nothing. I've had days where I made $1,000. You know what I'm saying? I've had weeks where I barely made, you know, $500. I've had weeks where we're coming up on 2,000 to 3,000 grand. So it's like, but it took me a while to get there. And there's a lot of gurus, there's a lot of mentors, there's a lot of people who are making it sound as if everybody can do it when we can't, you know. And I'm not here to knock anybody's hustle. I'm not here to knock anybody's dream. But realistically, there are too many gurus telling people you can, than people realistically letting them know, like, you might can't. Shit, you might can't, for real. Like, depending on your credit, your situation, you might really can't get a van. Depending on if you ain't got no cash out, you might can't get a van. Depending on, you know, which company or app you try to get onto, because you got felonies, you really might can't get into the industry. You know what I'm saying? Or because you don't wake up in time and take life serious, and you always have enough distractions to keep you from doing what you're supposed to do, you can't be successful and prosper in this industry. And that's what I'm letting people know. Like, depending on who you are, I could give you $1 million, you'll be broke by next year. You know what I'm saying? Rather than giving somebody $1 million who has enough discipline to put that shit away in a high yield growth account or a stock account and get them a financial advisor. And you know what I'm saying? Everybody's different. That's why I said every industry, every person will bring you different results. So is it worth it? You have to ask yourself that. You got to be able to look in the mirror and say, is my time as valuable as I think it is? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people are getting in this industry for the money, but really, once you get into this industry, you find that time is more valuable than the money, because you're gonna make a buttload of money. You're gonna come across more money than you're making before if you're going from making less into getting into this industry. You know what I'm saying? If you're going from making 100K a year, don't fucking get a cargo van. You're tripping. Unless you're gonna make it, you know, a self-ran business, you guys. Dang, there's a bad wreck up here. I don't mean to record it, but sheesh, crazy. Crazy. Let me slow down and be nosy. Oh, they didn't hit it. Damn. Oh my God, Lord. Praying for him. All right, Lord, please protect them people. But yeah. So you got to be willing to ask yourself: is it worth it to me? Do I want the money, or do I want more so of the time? And that'll put you where you need to be.